Sensitive content warning. The following video may contain material deemed inappropriate for some viewers. What is going on, you guys? It's your host Galadon here with a fundamental Clash Royale strategic error that I am seeing again and again, and that is people keep dropping their sets of units without using a big tank to protect them. Yes, they're unprotected sets. And this can be disastrous because, especially in the day and age of the Executioner, one Executioner can cost you a great deal of elixir, and that, well, it could lead to single target destruction. And you don't want that. That is something you may not be able to recover from in a battle. If you lose that much elixir to a single unit, sometimes it's very, very hard to come back. And coming up next, here's something there is no cure for. That is severe tower damage. Right there, you only get one tower. Or three. Alright, let's move on. So anyway, you guys, what I'm encouraging you to do is protect those units. You need to have safe sets of units. Right here, there's safe sets. You've got the giant distracting that Executioner. The goblins and the archers get in there. The Executioner is gone, and now, yes, you can safely go all the way. The tower is gone. You don't know. You don't have to worry about single target destruction. You don't know what your opponent has. He obviously is suffering from it now, but you're not going to have to worry about it. It will not affect you because, yes, you had protected sets. Now we'll move on, but wait for the big finish. There it is right there, the big 3-crown win. And okay, so next I wanted to talk to you guys about another problem that I see some players doing. They're trying to be tricky, and they're trying to use multiple fingers right here. This looks fun, but it's not that good of an idea. Same time deployment is disastrous. Once again, the Executioner goes to work and annihilates all of your units. You got to be careful about this. Again, don't get tricky. Don't think that just because you're fancy, things are going to work out better. You've used a bunch of fingers, and that's better than, say, just one finger. But once again, this example perfectly illustrates the dangers of unprotected sets. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to a couple of players. This is Mr. Cliffy, who was recently trying out some Executioner action, and I talked to him before this. We sat down, and I told Mr. Cliffy all about safe sets and unprotected sets, and he realizes it. He's got the Executioner. He knows where these instances could come up. Right here, watch this. The wizard is going to show exactly what happens right after these units get blown away. The wizard wipes them out. That was definitely unprotected sets, and the wizard teaching Papa de Best that, yep, well, things don't always work out when you try to drop too many units at once. So let's go ahead and fast forward to a little bit later on in this same battle. Once again, the opponent moving in, this time with a golem. So you could say this was some sets of units that are protected by the golem, but sometimes units can get blown away. Right here, another tornado is going to be the perfect card right there. Pulls them away, and now suddenly they are not so safe. Even the golem is going to get damaged severely by the Executioner, taking those units out. Mr. Cliffy using a mirror card, blown away once again, wiping out those skeletons and safely protecting his tower, up 1-0. Fast forwarding to the end, check this one out, you guys. Not something you see every day. It looks like a sword fight. Two Executioners up at the same time, absolutely annihilating that minion horde. Together they walk forward. Nothing else to happen here. We don't need to watch the rest of this. Two Executioners, not something that everybody really wants to see. Alright, so moving on to a couple of top players. Here are two guys that were both in the global top 200, and they were both using Executioners, and they just happened to both be Nova players. Nova 1 Pompeo, you've seen him at the top of the leaderboards again and again and again every season, up against Nova 1 King from Nova Esports, and I guarantee you, both of these guys know all there is to know about protected sets, especially when you're using or facing an Executioner. Now, a lot of players have not leveled their Executioners up yet, but right here, we are going to see some examples of very high-level Executioners, and check that out right there. Sometimes, in order to protect your units, you need to place something over the Executioner. The freeze spell, a great cover, stops that Executioner, and Nova 1 King able to get it out of the way. So now it's important to remember that things like freeze spells do provide great protection, and so does a tank, a big heavy unit out in front of your sets of units, but you cannot always rest assured that you're completely protected. You have to take other precautions. You need to know what your opponent has. You need to know what cards are in that deck, what cards could be coming. There could be a surprise for you. You think you've checked and you know all the cards, but the opponent has only played 7, and there's that one last dangerous card that's been lurking in the back of your opponent's deck the entire battle. It gets popped on you, and you have no way to counter it. There's no way to stop it. So you've got to be careful right here. Again, Nova King using that freeze spell as protection. And now, of course, you guys, I'm going to be realistic. I realize because of the nature of the game, you guys want to have fun, and you're obviously going to be having multiple opponents. I mean, you could stick to just one opponent, but a friendly battle with the same opponent over and over and over again eventually does get boring, even if they change things up. So I'm just saying, be careful out there. You're going to have multiple opponents, and it's easy to lose track of which opponent had what. You need to never trust any one opponent because you never know where they've been. For all you know, your next opponent could be a dirty gemmer. And as we go into the final 30 seconds, this is a close one, you guys. This hit TV Royale because both of these players are using protected sets. Here come the Executioners out after each other and a Knight. You've got 2 Executioners, a Knight, a Giant, and the Musketeer. She is feeling out of place right there. In comes the Graveyard, the freeze spell once again. Time is just about to count down, and watch this unexpected ending. Nova 1 King can't quite finish, and now he's getting ganged up upon by the Executioners, the Minions, the Musketeer, and right here, the coup de grace, the Fireball, followed by the Log. Here comes the Log, here comes the big gang of units, another freeze spell, and a zap ends it all. Nova 1 Pompeo with the 1 crown overtime win. Alright, you guys, I hope you can take something from today's episode. Let's go ahead and move on and talk a little bit about some recent comments. These coming from yesterday's video. That was the $20,000 video. You guys, you were on fire with the comments. And first up, we've got Weeb, who says, everyone in the comment section talking about donating to charity, and I'm just here thinking about how many TVs I would get. So just being honest, when I asked you guys how you would spend $20,000, Weeb, well, I appreciate the honesty. Next up, we've got Richard Geisler. He says, I would buy Galadon's friendship for a day. Richard, that is such a nice thing to say, but I had to reply and tell you, my friendship is always free. You're watching my videos, you're automatically a member of the hashtag GalaFam. Next up, FocusDLE says, if I had $20,000, I'd buy gems, because I keep losing to not free-to-play noobs. Excellent. So Focus would become a dirty gemmer, just like me. Next up, Elixir King. If I had 20k, I would buy a plane ticket to Supercell headquarters, slap whoever buffed the Elite Barbs, and then fly back. I love this comment. That is my comment of the day. That one is getting forwarded on to the Clash Royale team. Next up, ConGuy97 says, $20,000. I'd simply put it aside and invest it. And then by the time I was 30, I'd have enough for a nice wedding with the women I'd never meet. It started out good. It started out sounding good. Okay, Mr. Dwags, here we go. He has itemized his list. Number 1, new gaming computer. Number 2, about $1,000 worth of gems. Number 3, donate $10,000 to charity. Number 4, buy like 2 $500 gift cards. And number 5, donate the rest to family. I like it. Lots of thumbs ups for that one. Musa Deek M says, I would spend $20,000 on research to figure out who Peter $17 is. You know what? I'm thinking it would probably take even more than that, but maybe you could pool your funds together with other players. All right, next up, Gustav Wilkstrand says, if I would get $20,000, I would go to Supercell and pay them to nerf the Royal Giant. So lots of players want to fly over to Supercell headquarters with their money. That one, the most thumbs up of any comments, and I'm using the Royal Giant. Anyway, thank you guys. As always, you are truly the hashtag GalaFam members. I love every single one of you. Thank you again for subscribing, liking, sharing, and commenting. And yes, I hope to see you all again tomorrow for more full attacks.
Galadon, I'll tell them who I am for, say,
$17,000.